Barely passable.
Anyway, so Joe Cuba, he sort of had, he tried to do like the crossover into the soul and pop market, and had some pretty good ideas, and some of his tunes were real interesting. So let's talk a little bit about it's really hard to say who actually had the first Boogaloo hit.
I know, we're discussing that. I was discussing that earlier.
Boogaloo Blues was not really, well, sort of the Boogaloo.
No, that was later on.
But that was the biggest, first
One of the
big.
And then I Like It Like That was pretty big.
Bang Bang.
At the Party.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites at the party. Hector Rivera, And Hector Rivera doesn't get enough credit because he sat next to Joe Cuba when during all of his recordings. So Hector was instrumental in the success of Joe Cuba's recordings. In fact, on Bang Bang, you hear kids yelling Bang Bang. Hector Rivera Jr. is on there, and also Nicky Jimenez Jr. is singing choral also. If you want to call it that, they were like just yelling out. Bang Bang.
So how did Bang Bang come about? Do you know?
Yeah, the story goes where they were playing in Brooklyn at a club where it was predominantly African American dancers, the attendees of the dance.
Audience. Yeah.
And they weren't responding to his music. So during the break, Jimmy came up to Joe and he says, "Hey, let's try something here." And he goes to Nicky. He said, "Remember that vamp we were playing with earlier? Says, "Yeah, I remember." He said, "Why don't we do that? Just play that." "Yeah, but what are we going to do? Just keep playing it. Just see what happens." So they did it. Sonny didn't want to do it, but Jimmy said, "I'll buy you a drink if they don't like it. I bet you they're going to like it." So they went out and they started playing. And the people crowded the dance floor and went crazy, and they started saying, freak out, freak, something like that, which eventually they recorded as beep beep, beep beep, and it was so successful at that dance that the following day Joe Cuba runs to Tico Records, to the president was Morris Levy, from The Sopranos. And they convinced Joe to include it in an album he had already finished. They were getting ready to print. He said, "Give me one more day." So they went and rehearsed it, and they added, Bang Bang and all that. And recorded the next day.
I remember seeing Joe Cuba Sextet on the Dick Clark show. Doing Bang Bang.
Well, that was before my time.
Yeah, no. That's how national it went.
Yeah, it was.
It was a
gold record. It was.
But see, that's a song that is a product of the fusion between African Americans and the Hispanics in the barrio, and
Exactly. Definitely a New York song.
Yeah,
we're talking how that crossed over into the soul market.
It was
became a big soul hit, and souls will never go back to Georgia. El Tito, the whistle.
Joe Cuba bought a house with his first royalty check from Bang Bang.
I can imagine it. Oh, what, 112th Street?
Yeah. No, this was in Baldwin, Long Island, I remember.
So he actually did move out of the ghetto for a while.
Yeah, he did. And we used to hold rehearsals there. One time he was preparing an album called My Man Speedy.
Oh, yeah.
And I was all excited because Louis Ramirez said, "Look, he's looking for material." So, I was writing a Boogaloo song. And Louis and I were like partners, writing partners in those days. And I go there expecting a lot to happen. And we got there about 11 o'clock at night in the morning and didn't leave till 11 o'clock at night. Didn't get anything done. All we did was party. It's just one big party, that band. No matter where they were, they were always like sounding on each other, like they used to say in the old days.
Yeah, ranking out.
Yeah.
Ranking.
And just goofing all day long. When I first saw them perform was at the World's Fair in '64 in New York. And I saw these guys, they were so different than the other bands because they were like jumping up and down and clapping and they were exciting to watch, and they also are exciting to hear. So I'm glad Fania decided to put this album on because it's a great tribute to a great man.
Yeah, no, we only got a couple more minutes, but We want to thank you for coming by, spending the hour here with us, and once again, it'll be released in about 3 weeks, on February 22nd, right?
23rd, yeah.
Joe Cuba, El Alcalde Del Barrio is the name of the CD. If you don't have any Joe Cuba in your music collection,
You're
this
missing
is
out.
this is a
That's a
this
good
is
start.
this is a real good start. And the
Absolutely.
liner notes are excellent with all the Joe Cuba album covers on the liner notes. What happened to the liner notes?
Okay,
They're over there.
I got them over here.
check Eric.
And look at that cover picture. There's a classic.
He looks like an old movie star, right?
Yeah, it looks like, I don't know.
You know who he
You know,
looks
you-
like? He looks like Eckstein, Billy Eckstein.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But one other thing is the job mastering this music was done by Wax Poetics in New York, and they did an outstanding job because I was really nervous about it because we're taking songs that were recorded
50 years ago.
50 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, and to listen to it, it sounds like a new recording. You know, the mastering is outstanding. So
No, they did a great job, and you all the stuff you picked out. We didn't get a chance to play any of the Joe Cuba boleros, like "To Be With You" and
yeah, every fourth song is a bolero.
Aunque Tu, and yeah, It's Love, and yeah, Mujer Divina. So,
Yeah, it's a
but
great
I'll
album.
be playing them all over the course of the next
Yeah,
couple of
that's-
weeks as well.
Yeah, okay.
You need a couple of days.
You don't charge much to play these records, you know?
Yeah, a few shekels, just a few shekels.
A trip to the deli, how's that?
Anyway, once again, I've been talking, we're spending the last hour with Mr. Bobby Marin, who's produced the new Joe Cuba compilation, El Alcalde Del Barrio. And for more information, you can go to www.fania.com,
That's right.
and
And
it'll be
for
available.
all of you DJs out there interested in getting a copy, you can call Codigo Records. That's Codigo. They're right here in Miami,
Right.
and they'll hook you up. You know. So
That's right. So, all right, and it'll be available also for digital downloading also on February 22nd
absolutely.
at the Fania website as
Yeah.
well.
Tiny Wolf's website this month is going to be featuring Boogaloo music, so it's coming out at the right time. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Check that out as
And,
well.
and just to add, I have like 2 more albums coming out on Fania by the Fania All Stars that have never been released. So, you know, look out for that. And I found a tape by Celia Cruz that she performed here in Miami live. That's outstanding. These are treasures that I found in a warehouse at Fania. You know, and so there's a lot of good stuff coming out on Fania. It's just a rebirth of a great label.
Well, we hope so, because our listeners here, this one we're all about great classic salsa here at 88.9 FM WDNA and WDNA.org on the World Wide Web, in case you just tuned in. My name is Andy Harlow. It's Fusion Latina for Tuesday night. It's almost